Hey guys, so here is the task that we're doing for task 1. Readers can determine how characters deal with conflicts by looking at their traits, feelings, and motivations. Take a second and underline key words. Alright, so when I was looking at this, one of the key words was determine. Remember, determine is like figure out. How characters are the people in a story, but sometimes it's not people, sometimes it's animals, it's the thing in the story. Deal with, it's how do we handle, usually handle the problem. Conflicts is struggles that we have. And then we've learned that there's 4 types. By looking at their traits, feelings, and motivations. So traits are character traits. Feelings are like happy, sad, mad. And motivations are why do they do what they do. Okay, so let's review the 4 types of traits. When or 4 types of conflicts. There's character versus self, character versus character, character versus nature, and character versus society. So just remember, character versus self, that's your inner. That's you and yourself only. Character versus character, there's another person in the picture. Character versus nature, that's like what we're going through right now with the coronavirus. Or character versus society. It's society in the whole. It's unjust and unfair. So let's review the main conflict in Malala's Magic Pencil. So who is the main character? Well, that is Malala. Okay. What does the main character want to accomplish? Well, Malala wanted girls and boys to attend school in her country. We can look back right here. First, I would want to erase war, poverty, and hunger. Then I would draw girls and boys together as equals. What is keeping the main character from getting what he or she wants to accomplish? On this page it says, but soon powerful and dangerous men declare that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now. They carried weapons. So, dangerous men forbid girls from attending school. The thing keeping the main character from accomplishing their goal is the main conflict. Remember, that's question 2. Or question 2 and 3. Okay? So, the main character, remember, was Malala. Wants to attend school, especially girls. But dangerous men forbid girls from attending. And even they carry weapons with it. So, with that being said, what type of conflict is this? Well, first of all, we know it's character versus something, right? Because it's always character. Versus, let's look back. So I'm going in between two. I'm thinking character versus character or character versus society. Well, is it one character or is it more than one? Well, in our story, it was more than one, so it has to be character versus society. So let's move on to character traits, motivations, and feelings. So characters have motives and they have traits. So motives are why are they doing this, reasons for their action. Traits are adjectives that describe our character. So let's look at this. The character you read about in stories have feelings and personality traits just like you. Character feelings are the emotions that have in response to a specific situation. They can change over time. Character traits are the parts of their personality that is consistent over time. Traits don't change quickly as feelings. So traits play into motives. Based on my trait, I'm going to have different motives. If I'm a shy person, I will be motivated to walk away when someone hits me and not get in trouble. Just like people, characters don't always react the same. So let's do an example. Let's pretend that Bob has a character trait of being kind. And his brother stole his shoes. And he got him dirty. So a character's feelings that Bob could be feeling right now is he could be upset and he could be angry. So his motive for solving this problem could be to walk away. And to forgive his brother. Let's try a different one. Okay, now we have, let's do Anthony. Anthony is very rude. That's his character trait, okay? So at the grocery store, a baby is crying. So Anthony feeling of this is he could be annoyed or even angry. So his motives, and since he is a rude person, that's his character trait, his motive may be to yell at the baby. If Anthony, instead of being rude, we changed it to kind, he might still be annoyed and angry, but instead of yelling at the baby, maybe he decides to help the baby. Okay? So, can you see how, depending on the character traits, the motives can change? If he was rude, he might yell at the baby. If Anthony was kind, maybe he's going to help the baby out. All right, so how did Malala handle the conflict? So this is our character statement that we had before. So I just rewrote that Malala wants girls to attend school, but dangerous men forbid it. And that's character versus society. Okay, that's from our statement before that we've used. So the motivations we can learn from just this conflict statement that school is one of her favorite places. Let's read on. So Malala is talking to her dad after he returns from work because, he said, he didn't finish right away. Because in our country, not everyone sends their daughters to school, and some children must work to support their family. Those boys will sell the metal scraps they find if they went to school. Their families would go hungry. School was my favorite place, but I never considered myself lucky to go. So, with that being said, we're learning that Malala is very hardworking. We can prove this here. Over the next few years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every day, I worked hard in school every day. Let's continue reading. Once I started writing, I didn't stop. I wrote speeches and traveled around my country sharing my story. I even talked to a reporter from a famous international newspaper. People actually wanted to learn about my life. I spoke for all girls in my valley who couldn't speak for themselves. So with that being said, she is wanting all girls to be able to attend school. Let's look at our next section of feelings. You know, after thinking about this book, I don't remember of any feelings that the author has expressed of Malala. And that is okay. Sometimes in our text, there are not feelings. There's not any feelings that are said. We can infer them, but we're not sure if that's exactly true. So it happens sometimes. But let's go back to our traits because there's another trait that I think Malala has. On this page, my voice became so powerful that The dangerous men tried to silence me, but they failed. So I see another trait of she is being brave. She does not let those dangerous men silence her. All right, so we have filled this out. Let's go back to how did Malala handle the conflict. So I want to add on that Malala handled the conflict by never giving up. And working hard by spreading her message even if there was dangerous men trying to go after her. All right, let's keep on going. Now it's your turn. Reread your book on Epic from last week. I want you to look at my example on Canvas. In the text submission box, I want you to type your answers for the following things: the character, the type of conflict, the conflict statement, the traits, the feelings, and the motivation. And there's one more thing that I'm going to add that's not on this page. How did they handle the conflict? For task 2, you're going to do the read aloud. You have to do it before you do task 3. And then for task 3, you'll have a second book on Epic that you will read that's on the social issues. Okay?